In this video, I'm going to be comparing the top 5 brands that I own of PR 122, typically known as Opera Rose or Opera Pink or Opera. So hang around, let's get started. We'll put these and do them one by one. Okay, in this video, I'm going to start off, and I thought I would compare all of them. All of these Opera colors are PR 122, and most of the tubes say on there that they have fluorescent pigment or a fluorescent added. So even Daniel Smith is PR 122 quinacridone magenta, and it does say fluorescent pigment. So I'm just going to push all these aside. We're going to take them one by one and do some color swatching and just compare them and see how they are. And then you can take them. I'm doing this so you can take them and take this information and buy the color you like best. So first I have Daniel Smith, if that's going to focus. There it goes. It's called Opera Pink, PR 122. We'll do a little mixing too with ultramarine blue and Hansa yellow medium like we did in the previous video to see how they mix. They should be the same. They all have the same pigment number. They all have, notations on their tube that fluorescent was added. So there shouldn't be any difference. But we're going to get a nice mass tone swatch here. And I'm working in my B watercolor sketchbook. It's 100% cotton. It's not expensive at all, but it does provide a good representation of color. Okay, isn't that pretty? This is quinacridone magenta, as it says on the tube, but what makes it wonderful is that fluorescent pigment, and that fluorescent is fugitive. So that's beautiful. All right, so let's take that pigment off and put a lighter swatch. I haven't tested any of these light fastness, so there are other channels that do that and specialize in that. Kimberly Crick is one of them. That's pretty. And I was looking on here to see, it says Series 1, Light Fastness 4. So, use your own judgment. It's a beautiful color. I've got a little bit of dark specks in there. I wonder if that's from previous swatching and left over in my brush. So, all right. So this is Daniel Smith. Beautiful, beautiful color. Daniel Smith. All right. I'm going to lay them over here in order that I do them. The next one I'm going to do is Winsor & Newton Opera Rose Series 2 PR 122. Now I will say that this one does not say that it's got a brightener or a fluorescent pigment in it. There's no notation, but this is an older tube. We'll see how it compares. Everyone has their favorites. Put that lid back on there tight. All right, let's get it going here. Winsor & Newton. Oh, that appears to be a little bit brighter. But not quite as saturated. Take some pigment off. Give it another swatch. It's beautiful though. Take some pigment off and give it another swatch. Very pretty. Basically the same. I think Daniel Smith's Mass Tone is a little more saturated. All right, let's do Schminke. I didn't hold that other one up to the camera. This is the professional line, Horadam. A lot of binder coming out. It seems like I always tend to have that problem with Schminke colors. I actually have quit buying Schminke colors because of that. And that binder has a yellow tone to it. So it kind of changes things. That's pretty though. Schminke, and that's called Brilliant Opera. This is a color that, you know, is so beautiful that you just have to, you'd hate to mix it, you know, because it's so beautiful on its own. I'm noticing a little bit of granulation in the Schminke. Take some more pigment off. Okay. Oh, that Winsor & Newton diluted is beautiful. I think I just had some leftover pigment in my brush because I'm not getting that in the others. But we'll take a closer look at them. Oh, I better mark these so I don't forget. This is Winsor & Newton. This is Schminke. Okay, and the next one I'm going to do is Michael Harding. It doesn't want to focus. Sorry about that. Opera Rose. It's PR 122 and it says fluorescent pink. All right, so here we go. Having a hard time getting that lid off. Oh, goodness. There we go. Okay. Well, that wants to kind of pop out a little bit. So I'm going to take my brush and dig that out of the lid. Oh, so much. I think sometimes, you know, when art supplies travel overseas, that can be a problem, the pressure. Because there's been a couple times where Daniel Smith has had binder issues, but not very much. But they're made here in the United States. Now, if you're overseas, I would buy locally because there's not that much difference to the point to where, you know, you have to be a pigment nerd like me. So here is Michael Harding. PR 122. It's beautiful. Now I dug out of that lid, so I have a lot of pigment on my brush. Okay, so let's take some off, and I just dip my brush in the water and shake my brush about 2 or 3 times to take pigment off. That's really pretty. Okay, take a little bit more pigment off. And there we go. It just goes on real silky. I will have to say that about Michael Harding. Very, very silky. I'm seeing some granulation in the Schminke and a little bit in the Daniel Smith, a little bit in the Winsor & Newton too. So it's slightly granulating. Get all that pigment out of my brush. Okay, and this one's Michael Harding. PR 122. This can do so much, this pigment. Okay, now I've saved, I think, the best for last, and that's Holbein. It is a favorite. It's a quinacridone, PR 122. It does say that it's got fluorescent added to it, and that fluorescent is BV10. B as in Bravo, V as in Victor, 10. So I noticed Holbein uses BV10s as brightener. You know, when it comes out of the tube, a couple of them looked almost coral. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Holbein. Holbein for the win. In my book. What do you think? We'll wait till it dries down. Holbein's opera has always been favorite among artists. Very pretty. And maybe it's that BV10. All right, there it is. We'll get them dried down and then we'll go and we'll mix each one. Let me hold it up for you so you can see. I'll list all these in the description below, and so you can go down there and pick up which one you like. I have a Blick link, and I think Blick has all these. So you can go to that link and it'll take you directly to the Blick site, and then you can type in, you know, like Daniel Smith Opera Pink, or Holbein Opera Rose, or Schminke Opera, and they have all the brands. Isn't that pretty? It looks like maybe on the Michael Harding. Let me write that. This is Holbein. Yeah. That Holbein is just so bright. Now go over to Kimberly Crick's channel too and look, but I'm going to mix all these out for you so you can see which mix you like best. And we'll let these dry and we'll be right back. Okay, so after these dried, I don't know if you can see that or not, but this Schminke has a little bit of shininess to the swatch, and I'm going to try to hold it to the light so maybe you can see it. And I think it's because of that binder coming out. So my suggestion would be to, you know, make a pan of it and or put it out on a palette and stir it up real good with a toothpick to get that binder mixed into it if you decide to go with Schminke. So Michael Harding is very smooth. I notice a little bit of granulation down in these lighter washes where I use some more water. And then Holbein is just so beautiful. Winsor Newton is pretty too. So, you know, in my opinion, the Daniel Smith and Schminke and the Michael Harding are okay. I would use them, and I'm going to use them. But I think the Holbein wins on just full out color and brightness. So, all right, let's turn the page. And we will start off by mixing these. I've got my trusty palette here, my everyday palette, and it's kind of messy. But first I'm going to mix all these with Hansa Yellow. Let me clean off that Hansa Yellow medium. And we will see I'm going to leave them in the same order. So I'm just going to mix them from the dollops I put out, from the little dots. Now, if you're liking this video, go ahead and give me a subscribe to the channel, because, you know, I'm going to be doing a lot more digging in deep and taking a closer look at some of these pigments so I can really decide what I like. Because, you know, Holbein Opera Pink, I can't beat that with any other brand. Okay, so I'm gonna take some Hansa Yellow Medium and some Daniel Smith. Oh, that's beautiful. That makes a lovely, lovely orange. Oh, goodness. Yellow orange. That is so pretty. Take some pigment off my brush. Gosh, this almost reminds me. That's a pretty medium. It goes from orange to a brighter yellow. Maybe I had too much pigment, yellow pigment, but that's really pretty. Let me put a little bit more in there. And I'll make a little dot here. So you can get, depending on the ratios, you can get a bright orange or a yellow orange. Okay, so this is dried. I got a phone call, so I got interrupted, but we're back now. And as you can see, you can get this a really vivid orange, or you could go more of a yellow orange and then wash it out to this really pretty pale yellow. It's just really, really pretty. So let's do the Winsor & Newton, see if we get the expected results there. Let's get some Hansa. I won't get as much this time. Let me rinse my brush so I can get that off. And then take some Winsor & Newton and mix it in. Oh my goodness. With this Opera. That's really pretty. Now this is probably a more even ratio. I'm not going to do this on every one. It's really beautiful. I think I got a little bit too much yellow on that one, on that Daniel Smith. And then here it is. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a real pretty peachy tone. Really pretty. Now if I took a little bit more and of Winsor & Newton, you know, I could get like a coral. Take the pigment off. I guess maybe I will. That is so pretty. And you can do that with the Daniel Smith too. Just put a little bit more of the pink into the yellow. I think I just had too much Hansa Yellow Medium in there. Okay, let's try to do the same thing with the Schminke. A little bit of Hansa Yellow Medium. I'm going to rinse my brush, tap it off, get some Schminke, and mix it. Vibrant orange. It's all about your ratios. If it's too orange for you, then put a little bit more pink in it. And if it's too pink, put a little bit more yellow in it. Really pretty. Might have had. And if you want them darker, use more paint than water. So we're using quite a bit of water here. So let's see if we can get a more saturated one. This is really pretty though. So you can get some really pretty colors with mixing. Okay, Hansa Yellow Medium. Let me write these down. This is Daniel Smith, Winsor Newton, and Schminke. And the next one we're going to do is Michael Harding. Okay. Get that Hansa Yellow Medium. I'm going to pull some of this. I'm going to try to do more paint than water and get a little bit more saturated color. So I've got a more cream consistency or milk. And then it's coming apart on my brush. And there we go. Oh, see, I mixed a little bit more pink in there when I went back to the palette. But that's pretty, isn't it? And this is kind of granulating apart. But, you know, I think the more water you use, oh, that is so pretty. Okay, so that's Michael Harding. I'm a little bit disappointed with the Daniel Smith that I didn't put more pink in there. I put too much yellow. All right, so here we go with Hansa Yellow Medium and Holbein. All right, now I'm going to take that off my brush so we can get a true. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more pink this time. It turns vibrant orange. Oh my goodness, that's just vibrant. That is gorgeous. Let's take some pigment off. and get a more diluted mixture. Take some pigment off. And get a diluted mixture. And see, I think that I got a little bit too much pink. So let's just take that little bit of that mixture and so see, you can get, that's almost a red color. Look at all the range. I'm gonna lift a little bit of that. Okay, we'll let this dry and we'll come back and mix it with ultramarine blue. It's so pretty. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so I wanted to hold these up for you so you could see the variation of color that I got. Aren't those beautiful? Those are beautiful. So you can get like an orangey yellow, peachy orange, brilliant orange. So I clean my palette off. So when I come in with the ultramarine blue, I won't be contaminated by all that orange and it will get muddy. That's important. And I also changed my water out and got fresh water because my water was orange. Got a new paper towel, cleaned my brush out real good. Got a piece of lint on it there, so I am going to get it off. And it's clear of pigment. So now I'm going to go in with ultramarine blue, which is right here. And I'm going to mix on the palette up here. Pull this down a little bit. So I'm going to turn the page. And we should get a really pretty violet. Ultramarine blue. I'm going to rinse my brush before I go in and get my Opera. And oh my gosh, yes, look at that purple. Can you see that? I'm going to put it down here. Because this is so pink, I'm going to get this out of the picture because it's distracting. Because this is so pink, there's no yellow in it to keep it, to make it muted. So you get a nice vibrant purple. Rinse my brush, take some pigment off, and get a more diluted. I tell you who told me how to take pigment off a brush. It was a YouTuber, Emma LaFave. I'm sure everybody's watched her. She's a fantastic teacher on YouTube. And, you know, she's got some really good videos on water control. And I suggest you go watch her because she is really, really good. She's got a lot of videos on water control and brush control. So she's a good one to go watch to learn your basic skills. All right, let's get some more ultramarine blue and go in here and do the same thing with the Winsor & Newton. Really get that pink in there. Need some more. But, you know, maybe, oh, there we go. There we go. I'm going to try to stay consistent. I think I got a little bit more blue than I did pink. This is a good way just to learn color theory. Because if it's too blue for you, then go in and add more pink. If it's too pink, then go in and add more blue. Because you can see that this is definitely more blue than this one. That's where convenience colors come in. If you want the same, or when you make your colors, make more than you think you'll use. Because it's really difficult to make the exact same color. So if you wanted to do a whole sky or something, then, or a whole field of lavender, you know, you could get away with going and doing this lavender and this purple for lavender, and it look okay in flowers. But if you was going to do a whole wash of the same color, then make a good amount of paint. All right, so let's go. Let me mark these. This is Daniel Smith. There is a little bit more granulation. This is Winsor Newton. All right, let's go in and get some more ultramarine. Okay, and we're going to do the schminke. All right. Let's just go down here and get this pink. All right, here we go. Schminke, Opera. And see, I got a little bit closer, but actually I went a little bit more to the pink side. Take a little pigment off. Pretty. I get so into color mixing. These will dry lighter, so because of the water. So if you want to really saturated, make your paint thicker. And the color shift, and if I painted right from the tube, they would really not shift colors that much. But the more water you add, the more color shift you will have. All right, well, that's schminke. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I'd like that. I am opening a membership group on YouTube, so, and it's open already, and if you'd like to see some of my favorite stuff or behind the scenes stuff or content that I've done that's not available for the general YouTube audience, go down there and check it out. There is a button down in the description below to where you can go check out the different tiers. All right, this is Michael Harding. I'm going to go a little bit more pink on this one, I think. Oh, so pretty. Every time I use Michael Harding, I think, oh my gosh, At first when I used it, I didn't care for it, but oh my gosh, look at that. I have to edit that out. Look at that. That is so pretty. Now I used quite a bit of pink. That's really vibrant. Also on my membership group, I'm going to be doing dot cards and sending them to you if you join at the highest tier. So, you know, one of them will be a dot of all these operas. So you can try them for yourself. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. All right, let's mark that one. Then we'll go to Holbein. Michael Harding. I'm seeing some granulation in here. A little bit in all of them, to be honest. All right, now we're going to go to Holbein. That was the brightest, I thought. Let me know your favorite, because they all used PR 122. They all used brighteners or fluorescent. I might have to squeeze a little bit more out. I don't know, maybe just a teeny tiny bit more. But I will give you a generous dot card of all 5 of these operas so you can try them out for yourself, because I don't think you'll get tired of the mixing capabilities of these. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Holbein. I think it's a little bit more vivid. I think it's brighter. If you're like me and you just do things in your sketchbook and you don't sell your work and you just like painting for the joy of it, I would get whichever one makes you smile the most. Or join my membership, because you can learn a lot about pigments for a smaller amount of money. You can try many different paints. And there'll be some other happy mail. Okay, that's really pretty. All right, and that's Holbein. All right, I'm gonna hold it up for you. There's just a range of colors you can get from Opera Pink. I think this is the most muted, you know, but I think Daniel Smith was in this category. I think Daniel Smith opera was a little bit more dull than the others. That and Schminke. Let's go back and look. I don't know. They're all pretty, but I think Holbein is the brightest. So, you know, what do you think? You know, is there a reason that you would choose Daniel Smith over Holbein? Or Winsor & Newton over Holbein? That Michael Harding is just beautiful. It just went down like butter. Oh my gosh. It was so silky. So, you know, I'd like you to join my membership and, you know, get these and try them for yourself and let me know what you think. If you have these, leave it in the comment below which one you have. And there's the purples again. And let me know. I'd be interested. I'd be interested. And you know, you might have bought it because there's the oranges. So pretty. I don't know. I just really like the Holbein. I'd be interested to know why you picked the brand you did. Could be because, you know, it's local and they sell them in your shop. Could be the best one you get off of Amazon or Blick. I do have an Amazon link below, so you can go there and click on any of the Daniel Smith colors. I have these colors that I use most linked below. And you can go there and do a search and click Opera Rose or Opera Pink and, you know, pick whichever one you like. It's pretty. So I hope to see you in the future in the next video. If you want to see more videos like this, and the last one I did on reds, click right here, and see you later. Bye.